Kiswahili kitu kidogo kidogo mpola.
Unajua Kiswahili for Kenya au unajua Kiswahili for DRC au unajua Kiswahili for?
Mimi najua Kiswahili from Barara. Kiswahili for mimi napenda.
Which means you speak Kiswahili close to DRC.
Those languages differ. There's Kiswahili from Kenya, Tanzania, and Kiswahili from Congo.
They are different.
Which one do you know, and which one are we going to be studying?
I think I relate more with the Kenyan one.
And which one are we going to be studying now?
I don't know which
That's
one.
where the problem is. They're giving us a language that is already disorganized. The news is coming up and it starts now. This is what's up in the country now. Look, listen, here's an interesting one. There's a human organ donation bill. That's a new one for me. Human organ donation bill.
Yeah.
What is in there?
It's about selling human organs. You sell your human organs, but no, this is this bill. By the way, this bill was introduced yesterday by the Minister for Health. That is Dr. Jane Ruther Cheng. It's a human organ donation and transplanting bill. It proposes life imprisonment or a 2 billion fine for selling your organs illegally.
What is the legal way to sell them?
Now, the according to this bill. It prohibits sale of organs like maybe your eye, your kidney, and other parts of your body for financial or any other form of compensation when you are even living.
Yep.
Yeah. So a person who is found selling their body organs without originally, like legally, getting it legal.
I want to ask like some random funny question. The organ is whose?
The organ is yours, but there's not been a law regulating that organ sale and transplant, and people have been trafficking. You've heard of people selling their kidneys, selling their, you know, it has become a growing trend in Uganda. So this bill seeks to regulate.
If it is removed from me forcefully, then it is understandable. But if I say, Pamela, I want to sell my kidney to you, and you have the money, and I'm broke.
Yeah, but you must do it with authority. So if you are going to do it without any authority, then that becomes a crime. You're either trafficking or you're doing it wrongly.
What do I
you'll be liable to life imprisonment.
What do I face for selling my organ?
You'll
my
be liable
eye,
to
my
life
nose,
imprisonment, life, or a fine of 2 billion shillings.
I want to say honestly, it's necessary because they've been doing stuff to our children that you can't even imagine. They've been doing stuff to our, deceased people that you can't imagine. So at least, we hope for the best from that. We hope it's still a bill.
Yeah, it's still a bill. It's going to undergo consultation and all that. There's a committee that is set to discuss the bill and some of the clauses in it. And then when it is done, it will be brought back to Parliament, and then Parliament will pass it. Then it will be sent to the President. The President will assent to it.
Definitely. Now, away from that, there's 3 men that collapsed during UA recruitment exercise for Game Rangers. Those ones must have been drunk. You know that haraji, when you drink haraji, you can't stand for long.
I think they had, maybe they had underlying health conditions that they did not know about. This is an Uganda Wildlife Authority.
It's like the army.
Recruiting rangers. Yeah, the training is like the army. So this was in Kasese. Thousands stand up, of course, for the exercise, and they were told to run 10 kilometers. So in the process, some of them started dropping off and collapsing. And these 3, one is 23 years old, and another one is 24 years old, and another one is 26 years old. So these guys just collapsed along the way as they were doing their training, that's running, and then they were rushed to the hospital, to Kasese, to Lugazi Health Center 4 in Kasese district.
And you might
but
still find
they were
women
pronounced dead when they arrived at the hospital.
Both of them, all of them.
All of them.
They died.
They died.
They collapsed and died.
They collapsed
after running.
Yeah, while running. In the process, the training had required them to run 10 kilometers. Yeah. Wow. So Bashir Hanji, who is the spokesperson for Uganda Wildlife Authority, is the one who confirmed and said, yes, these men died. We tried to rush them to hospital. The training started on Monday. I think it's ending this Friday. Yeah, it's happening in several districts.
Away from that, guys, there is also a developing story about teachers saying that regardless, even if the money for science teachers is increased, it will not improve the performance in these subjects.
Yeah.
They have started to break the Mukulembeze's heart early.
No, but that's the reality.
So oba mutuongeza sente oba temuzongeza abana tebajayita bya science.
Tebajayita because one, there's the attitude towards the sciences from the learners themselves, and then secondly is the way that our science schools, equipment in laboratories are, because science, as we know, is a practical subject.
Yeah, definitely.
So if we have laboratories not there in some schools or not equipped with the necessary things, then you don't expect sciences to be performed well. Then there's the textbooks for the new curriculum. These textbooks have also never arrived. So Vincent Elong is the chairperson, Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. Remember, that was the union that was striking, asking for a pay. He was saying, even if you have increased our salaries, we are not going to promise that sciences are going to be better.
What does he want? What do they want?
Unless the government works on laboratories in schools, because science is a practical thing, science subjects.
Of course, we expect the laboratory to be equipped. They are equipped, but not fully, because one, they have left the responsibility on the schools which are capable, because they a little bit higher fees. Then there are those ones which are not capable. You should not let science with the marks, performance and marks go. When we are looking at science, we look at imparting skill, but has gotten out.
Netwalina laboratories nga wagenda nga ng'oli mu senior 1 n'otunuulira mu laboratory nga Bunsen burner ne gas ajja ne bakuwa test tubes ne bakuwa everything mu chemistry lab no mugenda mu physics buli kimu nga gye otagenda masomero agamu nga tebalina na lab n'emu. The attitude of learners towards sciences ezo zemulaba abaana bajja ne bafuna bias nti nzibu kakati attitude yo nefiira awo.
That's very true. I want to agree. And also the teachers of sciences are not, I don't know, their approach is different.
How do you mean the approach is different?
They spit out a lot of matter and they don't give you time to digest it.
Yeah.
And I also want to believe that, you see, sciences is like playing football. Education, all the subjects, it's like a sport.
Yeah.
You either know or you don't know. You're either good in a particular position or you don't. Now, look, you can't have, let's say you're handling a football game. You can't have everyone playing defense for you.
Yeah.
There has to be people in the midfield, people in the defense, and people on the striking. We can't be the same. That's why God created short, tall, light-skinned, dark-skinned. I mean, I can easily grasp Napoleon. It was my favorite subject in school.
What
I
they're
can
saying,
write. You can tell me
they're
write
not actually
anything.
forcing people to do sciences, but just to promote the culture, because people have grown, you know, us growing up, we always thought science is very hard because of the way the curriculum was designed and maybe the way that the teachers, you know, teach it, and then the fact that some teachers are forced to give you theory without the practical, because they don't have laboratories, some schools, so you cannot see what and you cannot understand what is not practical. So if we have our laboratories, actually the government has started from the where I say the head, without going into the real
the nitty-gritties of what's needed.
What is needed.
But here's the thing.
Changing the attitude towards sciences and equipping laboratories is important.
Sciences, do what?
But
make the entire education system right.
How? Okay, yeah,
the sciences. Now it will make students are going to start feeling on each other. We are scientists.
But they used to feel
exactly.
Those days,
now it's even going to be worse. We are scientists. We are going to be paid more.
No, but I think in a way it is all good for us to promote science, because the world that we are moving towards
needs artists,
technological, and science.
It needs everybody.
You look at the nations that are doing so well, that are inventing things. So if we can start from somewhere, maybe grow to a level where we can see our own kids inventing things. If we grow to the level.
If you look at the list of the richest people in the world, most of them are artists. Scientists don't know how to deal with money.
Yeah, but if you look at...
They innovate, but then who pays for that?
By the way, innovation is a very rich game. It's
a
galaxy. Rich game, I'm telling you.
Away from that, UNEB is ready to start examining Kiswahili as the government makes the language official. So if you are not conversant with Kiswahili, it's about time that you learn kuongea Kiswahili kidogo kidogo.
Yes, kidogo according to
kidogo not chidogo. Hey, vanange.
I'm beginning to learn. No, you never know the one for DRC they say chidogo. Then the one for Kenya or Tanzania they say kidogo. Anyway,
just chidogo sounds wrong, Pamela.
It might sound, but maybe it's correct.
Chidogo. It's like you're saying it in Runyankore.
Hey.
Chidogo.
Anyway, UNEB executive director, that is Daniel Odong, he has said, following the directive, cabinet's resolution to make science now official from primary till university, in media, in cabinet, in parliament, like it has to be all over the Kiswahili. They are looking on having to incorporate examination of Kiswahili, even in primary schools. Because there's a problem that some schools are not teaching subjects that are not examined by UNEB. If UNEB is not examining, why am I teaching? So that's why he's saying we are waiting for a directive from the Ministry of Education on that.
Yes, we will wait the ministry's position. If the ministry says that the Swahili should be examinable, we will examine. Because right now we are already examining Swahili at the lower secondary level. We are also examining Swahili at the A level.
Because when you don't have the teachers, you can't move on. NCDC produced 450 master trainers, but that's not enough. Because we need this to start right from maybe the nursery to the university.
When the army was ant people, Swahili was the language of the army. So Ugandans developed a negative attitude towards Swahili. But we would want to sensitize and educate Ugandans that there is nothing wrong with Swahili. As we integrate the East African community, Swahili is the language which connects East Africans.
Perfectly. I agree and I understand it is important for us to be conversant with Kiswahili. But it is not ideal for that language to be made official.
No, in the East African community, it is supposed to be an official language. That was what was declared.
For Kenya and TZ, you see that language is hereditary. It's like how maybe speak Luganda in this country. You understand? It's a language, it's tribal, it's part of their ethnicity,
Even
it's
in
part
Congo.
of them, even in Congo.
Yeah.
So why are we Ugandans being forced to...
That was decided by in 2016. That was the then East African Affairs Minister. She's called Shem Bagine. She said
Do you know
that
you go to Swahili?
yes, Swahili is supposed to be the language to define the whole East African community. So we are supposed to adopt it. Rwanda is supposed to adopt it.
Most Rwandese speak
Burundi is
Kiswahili,
supposed to
by the way.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Most of them I've interacted with.
Hey.
Yeah, they know
So
some
which
little
Swahili
bit
do they relate more with? The one of
DRC, I want to think, yeah.
DRC. But it's going to be a bit confusing. Anyway, they're saying 450,000 master teachers, 450 master trainers have been. So the training has to go to teachers as well. We are going to have resources into training everywhere. That is money, by the way.
Some of us Ugandans, the only Kiswahili words we know are the ones we hear in
Kuja
songs.
hapa. Wayenda.
Anachukua, anaenda. Wow. You know those?
Anyway, we have to learn and adopt and...
What does anachukua mean even? Anachukua, anaenda.
Anachukua as in getting. Eh?
How come you don't know that song, Pam? You don't know that Diamond Platinum song with... I'm going to play the song for you just shortly after the break. But guys, let us know. Do you think it's really necessary for this country to have Kiswahili as another official language?
Doesn't matter whether it's necessary or not. It is moving East African community.
Is it ideal?
But I think English will remain one of the languages, although Kiswahili has to be incorporated for those purposes, trading and what.
Let me know what you think on 0707102102. This is Galaxy.
100.2 Galaxy FM. Zzina.